Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 11, episode 8, and today we're back with another doubleheader from two competitions, as firstly we look to make our first ever Champions League final with our semi-final second leg against Man City, and then we're at home to Fulham on the official last day of the Premier League season, knowing that a win will secure us the title, even though we've got a game in hand to play in 2 weeks. So it's going to be an interesting game. It could end in absolute glory. We've also got the FA Cup final coming up in the next episode, and then we could well have a Champions League final the one after that. But if you have missed any of the season so far, it really has been a dramatic one, so do go back and check out the previous episodes. I'll put a link in the eye above to the start of this season. But as with the previous episode, we are doing 2 games live today, so we are going to try and get through to them pretty quickly. We've got Leonardo out with a twisted ankle, our only first team player missing today, but we are going to have to play a slightly weakened side as we've had a crazy Premier League schedule. So if we go and have a look as we try to wrap up the title, you were with me last time for a home defeat against Liverpool and a 0-0 draw against PSG, which saw us to the semi-final of this one. We followed that up with what we described in that episode as an easy game against Sunderland, so we lost that one 1-0 of course, but we did bounce back with a huge 1-0 win against Manchester City. City went down to 10 men early in the second half. They really started to struggle. We brought on Douglas Luiz for some heroics, and his heroics was getting a red card within 5 minutes, although we did have one of the craziest moments of a series so far. We actually had an appeal accepted. The red card was rescinded and he was back in the squad for the following game. Bernard Martin came off the bench though, and he was the hero. One of the most important goals in this series as he nicked us a late winner to put City out of the title race and put us back in pole position. We won 2-0 away to West Ham at the weekend after that. Mauro Oliveira with a goal in both the first minute and the first minute of stoppage time. A brilliant outcome from him. A goal at both ends of the game to secure the 3 points. And then in the first leg of this semi-final we drew 1-1. Lera gave us the lead, but Van Riel equalised for City. The second half was a bore fest, so hopefully it'll be a bit more exciting today. And then 2 comfortable wins in the Premier League followed. Just 2 days after that Champions League game, we won 3-1 away at bottom side Ipswich. An own goal set us on our way before a Florentin Bernard brace in the second half. And then just 2 days after that, we played Watford in the Premier League again. A 4-0 victory at home as we started to look a bit more like ourselves again. Lavinas, Bernard, Lewis and Mafluthi with the goals, and now just 4 days later we're into the Champions League semi-final second leg, looking to make it to the final for the first time. As much as it sounds like an awful thing to say in the semi-final of the Champions League, my biggest priority at the moment is Fulham on Sunday. A win in that one means we don't have to worry about Chelsea 2 weeks after. Imagine the Premier League season finishing and then sitting there for 2 weeks knowing you've got to get a result in your game in hand, which is going to be played after an FA Cup final. So I'd rather win the Premier League than anything else, although I'd obviously love an FA Cup title as well. The Champions League I'm not so worried about, as it's not something we expect at Newcastle, and winning the Premier League here will surely set me up for a big job at one of the elite super clubs in Europe. But let's go and get into the games. We just want to show you the action on the pitch. That's the most important thing at this stage. We want to finish our time at Newcastle with a flourish. We've obviously been in the Europa League final the last 2 years. We've never been past the Champions League group stages, so this would certainly be some achievement, and here's the side we're hoping to do it with today. We've got Machilov in goal, Gomez and Lewis are the fullbacks with Mafluthi and Yanderson in the middle, Claudio Gomez the segundo volante, Billy Gilmore in midfield. That's of course due to Leonardo's injury, and then we've got Arzani, Ranzan, Lera and Bernard the front four, the usual combination this season, and some game changers on the bench with just Declan Rice, our sub-keeper and a youngster missing out on the squad for today. So let's get into the match, and fingers crossed we can do something special. It's a 4-2-3-1 for City. They've got Ederson back in goal. He didn't play in the last game we had against City. Kimpembe's at centre half. Everyone else is a regen. We know they're full of world-class talent. They've been one of the biggest sides in the country for some time, and it's going to be really difficult for us to get through, but we're going to get the lads to go out and show what they've got. Hopefully they'll be able to spring a surprise, but I wouldn't be shocked if we went down today, as this is really one of the most difficult tests we've ever had, as Jamal Lewis gets it at left back from the kickoff. He goes into Mafluthi. Couple of little glitches there, not quite sure why, as Arzani gets it into Ranzan. Over the top to Bernard, he's going out for a goal kick, but unfortunately he's kept it in, and then lost possession to the City fullback. Gomez gets it inside to Ranzan, it deflects off Benitez and away, and City are looking comfortable in possession early on, as the gameplay seems to have settled down. It's a long ball over the top for Medrano, Jamal Lewis with a fantastic tackle, and Yanderson's got time to bring it away now. He finds Claudio Claudio Gomez. Arzani on the right, who's come very deep on this occasion, plays a 1-2 with Billy Gilmore, and is out to the right hand side for Joe Gomez. Over the top towards Bernard, delivers into the box. There's no one there, but it's back to Ranzan. The header fell for him nicely. He went for the volley from the edge of the box, but unfortunately it was high and wide. City with a corner now, is headed away to the edge of the box, and Ranzan can counter again. Bernard's up with him, he tries to get it in behind, but it's not a good ball, and now City have got a 4-on-4. What an end-to-end start this is. A little bit open for a Champions League game, but a header straight at Machilov, and we survive with the score still goalless, though City are through on away goals at the moment. 15 minutes gone, we're back with the goal kick for Machilov. He goes short to Maflouthi, who's been an absolute revelation this season, replacing Ezri Konsa, who was the hero last year, obviously scored that winner in the Europa League final, but this year it's been a seamless transition, with our two centre-halves forging a brilliant partnership. Here's Arzani to Gilmore. Ranzan as we look to get our first shot on target. Not managed to do so as we've lost possession, and now Medrano charging down the right for City. Beats two men easily, it's into the back post, hits the post, and it comes back out again. Salnikov on the rebound slides in, and City lead 1-0. That's a pretty poor start, to be honest. We've been outplayed, we're going to drop to a balanced mentality. I just want to make sure we don't concede 2 or 3, and then we can try and chase the game late on. Just 5 minutes to the break, we're back as Jamal Lewis has picked up a knock. Pulled knee ligaments doesn't look good. We have got Bazan on the bench, so it won't be a problem, but City are coming away with it now, and we've got to make sure we don't concede a second. Joe Gomez loses out in the air. It's terrible defending. He's really not got a good after the season. I know he's been captain for a little while, but his performances hadn't suffered till recently. I'm a little bit concerned about that, and I think Pedro will take over next year, whether I'm in charge or not. Hopefully we won't be. If we win the Premier League, we've surely got to get a big move now. We've been stuck at Newcastle for 4.5 seasons, and although they've been a brilliant club and we've loved managing them, we really want to move on and manage some of the super clubs. I'd love to quickly go through the other big leagues, the Bundesliga, La Liga or Serie A, at least 2 of those, and once we win the 3 titles and the Champions League, we'll probably call it quits for this series. But that looks like it's a way off yet. We're losing 1-0 at the break, so our Champions League dream's over, though we can't say we didn't expect it. Rene Bazan will come on for the injured Lewis, and we'll get into the second half and shore things up for 15 more minutes before going all out attack towards the end. It's Bazan on at left back, and he's a winger by trade, so it could be a little bit tricky at the back. As Medrano gets in, that's going to be a red card. Maflouthi commits the foul, and he may have just had cover from Yanderson, the referee not even giving a yellow. The free kick hits the wall, and we've got away with that one, though it's back in for a second, so we've got to get it away. Maflouthi just does that, but he's now back out for a third attempt. Kimpembe on the right hand side, his cross is blocked, and Lera can bring it away as the highlight ends. We're back with City on the left, who've got the ball with Salnikov, the scorer. Into Van Riel, he rounds the keeper. What a goal that is. That's too easy from City, and we're going to have to go positive now. Just try and chase the game. It looks like it's going to be in vain, and we've got to make sure we now go and win the Premier League title. We'll rest 2 players towards the end. We're never going to get through in this one now. We're not going to score 3 goals away to City, so we've got to start to focus on Fulham in 4 days. We'll look at the most tired players with a quarter of the game to go, and we'll take those off with a view to the weekend. 20 to go then, let's make a couple of changes. I've got 3 candidates in mind. Daniel Arzani, who's always the most tired player. Billy Gilmore, who we haven't got a backup for, as Leonardo's out injured. And then Mohamed Maflouthi, who's both frustrated, anxious, and got a poor physicality. And we can bring Pedro on for him. So I'm going to put Joe Gomez at centre-half. He'll become a ball-playing defender as he prefers. Maflouthi's going to come off with Pedro on at right back. And then we're going to take Arzani off on the right wing for Lavinas. He needs a little bit of fitness anyway. Billy Gilmore's been our best outfield player, so I don't really want to take him off. He also had the best fitness of the 3 players we mentioned, so he's the one we're going to keep on for the rest of the game. 20 minutes to go, it remains 2-0 to City, and unfortunately we've just got to try and keep the score down. Morin gets it inside to the centre midfielder, out to Mohammadi at right back, inside to Van Riel, good save Machilov, Bazan hacks it away, and if we don't score within the next 5 minutes, we will just drop to balanced again and make sure we see it out with a respectable scoreline. Bazan at left back with a free kick to Lera. He gets it inside to Gilmore. Now Claudio Gomez, we've got a run on here, gets into the box and shoots, hits the far post. The keeper was in no man's land, but unfortunately with 10 to go it remains 2-0, and we're now going to drop to a balanced mentality just to try and see the game out. I know that one rattled the woodwork, but we still haven't had a shot on target. It's been a really poor performance generally against a brilliant City side. Gilmore gets it to Bazan, in the middle to Lavinas, and we've got one back there. There's a bit of a glitch, and the balanced mentality seems to be working. First shot on target, first goal, and let's go and demand a bit more from the lads. Fingers crossed they can create one more and make it interesting. If we score with half a minute plus stoppage time to go, it could well be a grandstand finish. But as I say that, Lavinas loses it to Van Riel, who's countering at speed, delivers to Bazan, who heads away. Here's Appleyard for City, gets it inside to Anderson, now Van Riel, edge of the box with time, shoots just over the bar, and with 4 minutes of stoppage time to go, a valiant effort will end in defeat after a brilliant run, having never made it to the semi-finals before. We'd never got past the group stages, but after a Europa League win last season, we've really done ourselves proud to reach the semi-final, and we only ended up going down by 1 on aggregate, as one more would have taken us through on away goals. We can't fault the lads, it was just one of those days. Although we're not too happy with most of that performance, we have to keep morale high looking forward to the league game. If we beat Fulham, we're champions of England. That's something Newcastle haven't done for decades, and something we've never done in our career before. I know we could have done it with Barnsley in the Championship, where we ended up leaving halfway through the season for Newcastle, but we have never won a domestic title at any level, and this could be a landmark moment in the series. So let's quickly see what was said about the game. City triumph over us. It was a comfortable victory. Jamal Lewis is out for 3 weeks. He'll miss the weekend and the FA Cup final, so that's going to be a little bit tricky, but Rene Bazan's an able deputy. We got £10 million for reaching the semi-final. The France manager's watching us, looking at Claudio Gomez and some City players. We'll deal with the press conference off camera, and we'll prepare for the final league day of the season against Fulham, even though it's not going to be our final game. We get 2 bites of the cherry to get a win, although hopefully on the final day of the season, as second place Tottenham play third place City, City will be able to get the win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that means we'll be champions regardless of our 2 scorelines. But if we win against Fulham, we know it's all over, so we'll be back in a minute to see if we can do that. Okay, we're back for the final day of the Premier League season for most teams. Obviously the penultimate game for us. We've got a game in hand against Chelsea if things do all go wrong today. But if we can't beat Fulham at home, after the FA Cup final, beating Chelsea away is going to be tough. We've got a few injury concerns. Leonardo's still out injured, but he is close to being fit for the FA Cup final next week. One of the young strikers is injured. He's just coming back with limited action. The other key names on this page are obviously Lavinas limited to 75 minutes of action. He'll be on the bench anyway, so that's not a problem. And Daniel Arzani is fit after resting him in midweek for the last 20 minutes of the City game. So let's go and get into it and see our lineup. There's not too many changes for this one, as Fulham sitting in mid-table should be a relatively easy home game, but obviously that's in normal circumstances where we don't have the pressure of trying to secure a title. Tottenham are playing City, it's 2nd v 3rd, so we're now hoping after City dumped us out of the Champions League in midweek, they can do us a massive favour at the Tottenham Stadium today and secure us the title without us having to do anything, although a win for us guarantees the Premier League title. We're heavy favourites, having won most of our games against Fulham in the past. We're 2 points clear of Tottenham with a game in hand, so we will have a chance against 5th place Chelsea, even if everything does go wrong today. But let's look at the lineup we've selected. Just the 2 changes at fullback, in fact. One of those was enforced as well. Jamal Lewis out injured, so Rene Bazan comes in, and then Joe Gomez, who's in poor form, has been dropped for Pedro at right back. So let's get into the game. Hopefully we'll be able to do something special. Mauro Oliveira's on the bench in place of Curtis Jones, as he's been a hero for us a lot of times in this run-in. So hopefully today we'll be able to get the 3 points that secure us our maiden Premier League title. Our first league title of our career at any level would be an absolutely massive achievement, and all we've got to do is beat Fulham, or hope City do us a favour at Spurs. We'll go and have a tunnel interview, as we've encouraged the lads to do well. We've put a great platform in. We'd love to be in this position with 2 games to go. Hopefully the lads won't freeze, they won't get nervy. It's obviously going to be a packed house at St James's, as it is pretty much every week. Fulham seem to be coming out to kick us. 2 advantages played in the first 10 seconds, and hopefully we'll be able to punish them with an early goal. We keep possession, but the highlight ends, and with 5 minutes gone it remains 0-0. We can't see the latest scores for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. We've put them on here now, and we're just hoping for City goals. Bazan with the delivery and in-swinging corner. Yanderson gets it away to Ranzan. Ranzan shoots from the edge, and it's deflected behind for a corner, and a brilliant save by the keeper, and now it's going to be Arzani with an in-swinger from the other side. Yanderson gets up and it's headed away, but Florentin Bernard was trying to get the second ball, and unfortunately he was offside, so the highlight ends with it still 0-0. 20 minutes gone, it's been a bit of a nothing game. Hopefully we'll create some more chances soon. It's a throw on the left for Rene Bazan. He gets it to Ranzan and now Gilmore. Back with a highlight, and this is the perfect time to score. Deflects just wide off Ben Chilwell. Brilliant defending by the Fulham defence. And unfortunately it's out for another corner, which Rene Bazan will deliver. It's a poor one this time. Lewis comes and claims it. And Fulham survive. It's still 0-0. And it's all starting to get a little bit nervy. It's going to be 0-0 at the break. We've dominated the game but haven't managed to get the goal. Let's go and talk to the lad, see what's recommended by Mikel Antia. He wants us to say we're disappointed, but I can see a lot of the lads are nervous, so I'm just going to tell them to keep doing what they're doing. They're dominating the game and doing all the right things. They're just snatching at a few chances in front of goal. Fulham have got the ball at the back at the start of the second half, and hopefully as the highlight ends, we'll create a key chance soon. Disastrous news in the other game. Tottenham lead 1-0 against Manchester City. So as it stands, it will go to the final day. And although we've got a better goal difference at the moment, if we lose by 1 or 2 away at Chelsea, that would then strip us of the title. And Tottenham would be celebrating 2 weeks after the season. Almost the entire team is apprehensive or nervous. That's a bit of a concern at this stage. We just need to score the scrappiest goal in the world as we demand a bit more from the lads. Just 20 minutes to go and nothing's happening. We've got to force a change here. I'm going to bring on Mauro Oliveira. He's been the hero so many times in this run-in. Florentin Bernard's had a poor game too. Bernard Martin comes on up front. Hopefully he'll score a goal like he did against City and write himself into Newcastle folklore. We'll leave it at that for now and make one more change in 5 or 10 minutes. I just want to give these lads a chance at a breakthrough. It's into Claudio Gomez and now Rene Bazan. He's got it 25 yards out to Lera. Inside, beats the defender. Brilliant finish by Lera. We're going to win the title, everyone. What a fantastic shot on his right foot. Turns inside the defender. The keeper got a hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out. The ball goes in off the post and Arzani's nervous. He'll be the man off in a minute. It's into the box for Fulham though. They've got a clear chance here. Machilov with a brilliant save, and it's out to the left hand side for Rafinha. It's cleared away as far as Gilmore. He hacks it clear down the field, and with just over 10 minutes to go, we've just got to hold on for this 1-0 lead, and we will be Premier League champions and win our first ever title of our career. Lavinas will come on as a standard winger. We just want to shore things up a bit. Rene Bazan at left back will drop to a support duty, and we just want to make sure we keep our shape. 5 more minutes and we will go defensive, though City could score a goal here and really help us out. We've accidentally zoomed out from the pitch, and it's all Fulham at the moment. Pedro heads it away to Southam. He finds Robert, goes for the shot just wide. He may well be a Frenchman called Robert, but I can only call it as I see it from there. Shapalov at the back with the ball. He finds Nelson Semedo. It's all Fulham. Look how nervous we are. We've suddenly stopped dominating the game, and Fulham are all over us. Just 8 minutes to go. It's getting so nervy at the back. I can't handle this sort of pressure. Rafinha crosses. Mafloufi clears. As far as Southam on the edge, he puts it wide, and let's get to the tactics screen. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality. We're going to time waste all the time. In transition, we're going to slow the pace down. We're going to hold our shape as well. We're in no rush to get forward. We just want to keep possession and see the game out professionally. 5 to go. Can we do it and hold on for a Premier League title? Who thought we'd ever be so nervous with a 1-0 lead at home to Fulham? Rafinha on the left to Chilwell, and it's still Fulham in possession coming forward. Chilwell goes long over the top, but Mafloufi heads away. He finds Claudio Gomez. It's still 1-0 in the other game with Spurs. They're leading and doing their bit, but we can get the result here and win the title with a game to spare. It'd be great to do it in front of the home fans as well. What a reward for the long-suffering Newcastle supporters, as Lavinas delivers to Lera, but he heads it over the bar. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to go, and Lewis clears it long for Fulham. It's gone as far as Mafloufi, who brings it down. He finds Rene Bazan, who plays a 1-2 with him, all the way back to Machilov in goal, and he's going to try and clear it long, I hope. Goes short to Yanderson, who finds Gomez. Yanderson again, and we're under a bit of pressure there, but we find a good pass to Lavinas on the right. He's got a man inside, but has gone wide again, and he's lost possession. That's terrible play, but luckily it's fallen straight to Pedro. He finds Gilmore and out to Lera. This commentary's probably awful, but I am absolutely bag of nerves at the moment, and that wasn't even a coherent sentence either. The ball's been cleared away, and now Fulham can counter-attack for the last time. Just 1.25 minutes to go. Rafinha with the long ball forward. Bazan misses the header, and it's so much pressure. Pedro gets the ball away to Oliveira, and can we finally get the second goal to seal the victory? Oliveira's been a hero so many times. He's in the box for this one, but he's headed away, and now Fulham can counter again. Why is it so end-to-end when we're holding our shape? Bazan makes the challenge out for a throw. We're going to drop to very defensive. We're going to play the most awful style of football. Regroup out of possession. Drop our defensive line. We're not going to prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and we're going to drop the tempo even further. Let's get back into the game and be more disciplined and play for set pieces where we can time waste. 45 seconds to go. Just cross your fingers, everyone. This could be the springboard to elite European clubs. It's Umar at right back for Fulham, and he finds Laval. So many highlights at the end of the game, and they're all for Fulham, but a brilliant block by Lavinas, and he's out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Fulham's left, and they've got it in an attacking area, but we're past the 3 minutes now. Gilmour wins it back and clears it. We've won the Premier League title. What a nervy performance, but we did enough. Lera scores the winning goal, and we don't even get to see us lift the title. How harsh is that? I really wanted to see us lift the Premier League at St James's Park. It wasn't to be, but that doesn't stop the success. We've won the title. I'm probably very loud, but I am absolutely delighted and so proud of these boys. I never expected them to be able to achieve it. A wonderful season of work from the lads, and I really hope this fills them with confidence going into the FA Cup final. And look what happened at the end of the Tottenham game. Manchester City scored in the 88th minute, so a draw would have been enough anyway. But we can focus entirely on the FA Cup final. We don't need to save anyone for the Chelsea game afterwards. That'll be a chance for us to play some youngsters. But let's go and get our confirmation before we end the episode. Obviously, we'd love to win the FA Cup final. It's a trophy personally for me I'm a massive fan of, so I am going to be putting my entire focus on it in the next episode. We dominated the game and deserved to win, despite a few nervy moments towards the end. It is a treble we've won, but it's certainly not the best one. The Community Shield shouldn't really count, and the European Super Cup was a very bizarre game. I love the little note there at the end that few would have expected this success from us after our dismissal from Hemel Hempstead in Season 1. They couldn't be more right. We thought we were in for a tough career after that, but what a wonderful turnaround just 11 years later to be winning the Premier League title with Newcastle. Hopefully that will improve our reputation as well. Let's go and take a look at the impact it's had. We've gone up to 4.5 star now, so we're matching almost all of Europe's big clubs, and that should mean we can get a massive job in the summer. Fingers crossed we're just about there. An FA Cup win would help that further, so hopefully we can get the medal in the next episode. We'll be back next Saturday to play Tottenham Hotspur in that one, looking to wrap up our 4th trophy of the season. So I really do hope you'll come and join me for that one. But if you enjoyed this episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of that performance. It was a bit strange how nervy we got in the last 15 minutes, but we held on and that's all that mattered. What a wonderful season from the boys over 38 games. We're into the 90s in terms of points, so we're well and truly deserved winners. And all you've got to let me know down in the comments now is whether you reckon we can win the FA Cup final to finish it off. It would be the perfect ending to our time at Newcastle after 2 failures in the final before, and then hopefully we'll get an elite job as we've now got a 4.5 star reputation. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one The Head Coach, and then our One Club series with Torquay United, where we're trying to take them to the top of English and European football. There's also weekly content from Snooker 19 every Friday at 4:30, as well as some bonus episodes, including one that came out yesterday lunchtime. And then we've got 3 episodes a week from Cricket 19. We've got an Ashes series from that one which started last Saturday, and will run every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 12 o'clock for a few weeks until the Test match finishes. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support as always. I really do appreciate it so much, and we'll see you next time for another big cup final as we try to wrap up our time at Newcastle with an FA Cup victory.